Hello there, welcome to another lesson on English grammar. Today in this video I'm going to be talking about past perfect tense. Well, past perfect tense is also known as past of the past. And there is a reason why it's known as the past of the past, because it is used to talk about an action which happened in the past before the other action that also happened in the past. And that is something which I will explain to you a little bit later in this video. Let's have a look at some examples. By the time I went to the market, most of the shops had already closed. Last week when I reached the airport, the flight had already taken off. When I came back home, the children had already fallen asleep. By the time I reached the train station, it had already left. I know for a fact that a lot of people who are in the process of learning English make mistakes while using past perfect tense, and they end up using it in place of simple past tense or in place of other tenses. So today in this video I'm going to be making this difficult and complex tense super easy and very simple to understand. Not only that, we will also learn how we can use it in our day-to-day conversation. So when do we use past perfect tense? Well, to answer that question, I would say we use past perfect tense to talk about an action which happened before another action in the past. Past perfect tense is generally used with simple past tense. In most of the cases, we end up using simple past tense and past perfect tense together in one sentence. Let's have a look at some examples. Yesterday, when I went to the market, most of the shops had already closed. If you look at the first clause of this example, it becomes quite clear that it's in simple past tense. Yesterday, when I went to the market. In this sentence, we used went, which is the second form of the verb go. And in simple past tense, we use second form of the verb to frame a positive or an affirmative sentence. The first part of this sentence or the first clause of this sentence is in simple past tense, which is yesterday when I went to the market, comma, most of the shops had already closed. The second clause or the second part of this sentence is in past perfect tense, which is had plus third form of the verb. Had closed. Closed is the third form of the verb close. Now, one thing becomes quite evident and clear, which is both these actions happened in the past. I went to the market. Yesterday, I went to the market. This sentence is in the past. So, and the second action, which is most of the shops closed, that also happened in the past. Now, both these actions, I went to the market and the shops closed. These two actions happened in the past. But when we want to figure out, when we want to know which action happened before and which action happened after, we use past perfect tense to figure out. Now, in this case, I went to the market later and the shops closed before I went to the market. So, the shops closed before, the shops closed first. After that, I went to the market. So that action happened later. So in order to talk about an action which happened before the other action in the past, we use past perfect tense. How can we frame a sentence in past perfect tense? Well, in order to frame a sentence in past perfect tense, all we need is a subject plus had plus third form of the verb plus object. A subject could be he, she, it, name, or a singular word, or I, we, you, they, or a plural word, plus had, which is an auxiliary verb, or you may also call it the helping verb, plus the third form of the verb or the past participle of a regular or irregular verb plus the object. A regular verb is a verb which ends with ed, and an irregular verb is the one which does not end with ed. For example, go, went, gone is an irregular verb because gone does not end with ed. As opposed to that, reach, reached, reached. This word ends with ed. The past participle of reach ends with ed, so it's a regular verb. It's kind of very important to know the difference between regular and an irregular verb. I repeat, verbs which end with ed in are regular verbs, and verbs which do not end with ed are irregular verbs. A good example of that would be reach. Reach is a regular verb and go is an irregular verb, and the past participle of reach is reached and the past participle of go is gone. Well, past perfect tense is also known as past of the past, and there is a reason why it's known as the past of the past, because it is used to talk about an action which happened in the past before the other action that also happened in the past. Let's have a look at some examples. By the time I went to the market, most of the shops had already closed. Last week, when I reached the airport, the flight had already taken off. When I came back home, the children had already fallen asleep. By the time I reached the train station, it had already left.